Hello, it's oh, I've lost my doodah. It's been a spell since we've done one of these. But yeah, time to react to some trailers. I've got about a bit of backlog that I need to react to, but first I want to react to this one because it dropped today. This is the teaser trailer for Ahsoka, our first proper look at Ahsoka. It was dropped at Star Wars Celebration Europe, which in about 10 hours, no, actually about 9 hours, no, it's 10.5 hours, I'm gonna be at. I'm going down to London in about 7 hours time to attend my first ever Star Wars celebrations, so that'll be interesting. I don't know, maybe I'll do a bit of maybe I'll just do something or another whilst I'm there. I mean, I certainly I'm going to take my camera and record some stuff, but we'll see if I post stuff whilst I'm there. I'm not there right now. I'm still in Newcastle, other side of the country, but the trailer's dropped. It's first look at the Ahsoka series, so I mean, the promise that we were expecting based on Ahsoka's live action reappearance in The Mandalorian was basically to follow the loose end that we ended Rebels at, which was Ezra took with the space whales, took Thrawn into the deep space place, and once the war was finished, they were gonna go and look for him. So he's much older now, and the prospect that Thrawn is returning. So I don't know much. I don't know Thrawn from the Legends thing. I didn't read those Thrawn books, but from my understanding, the original Legends, Thrawn it follows a similar kind of thing. Thrawn, for whatever reason, was trapped outside of the war, but he rebuilt a kind of his own empire there and came back once the war was finished. And I think this is going to kind of bring that back into canon, but its own kind of take following obviously what happened after Rebels. I enjoyed Thrawn in Rebels. I think some people don't like Thrawn in Rebels, just based off the books, and they feel like he's a step down. Maybe he is. I've not read them, so I wouldn't know for sure. But I still think he was plenty menacing there. So yeah, this show is kind of delivering on that promise of pitching where Rebels were, bringing back a bunch of the characters in live action who haven't been in live action yet. So obviously Ahsoka's in live action. Zeb reappeared in the week before episode of Mandalorian. Who else? Obviously Bo-Katan is a character, but obviously she's also from Clone Wars. So I think this is kind of promising when they get the gang back together. I watched Rebels after it all finished. So I like, much like the Clone Wars, where apart from the last season, I watched most of it after it had been broadcast, and most of it years after it had been broadcast. So Rebels, I didn't start Rebels until it finished. I was so much late to that party. I think mainly because it was probably broadcast on a channel I didn't have access to at the time, so I couldn't really watch it. I think I pretty much like sped through it as fast as I could on Disney Plus. So actually, I watched it only 3 years ago. So yeah, actually, I think I watched most of it during COVID. I mean, we're still during COVID, but during the lockdowns. Maybe I started it before then, actually. Maybe. I can't 100% recall. But certainly, I finished it relatively, like, I probably finished it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it's still a fresh show in my mind. I think I was mistaken. I think I was under the impression that Rebels wasn't particularly that well received compared to the Clone Wars. But actually, looking back at some kind of summaries of reviews, it's actually kind of got positive reaction. So maybe that put me off for a wee bit. But yeah, the characters in Rebels. I mean, Rebels was actually, I think, at times slow to start off with, but you got into it, and I think it did explore. It got much more decent as I went along, and I found myself actually attached to these characters. So it'd be interesting to see them now. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this trailer. Let's get into it. and see where we're at.
Something's coming. Something dark. I sense it.
Motion detected at the front door.
Alexa, mute. We'll see if that holds, because Lex has been a bit rebellious lately. Let's go back a wee bit.
I sense it.
Ooh, red.
This is a new beginning. For some, war. For others, power.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
A lot of details in the closing moments. Let's go through it, shall we? So we get this opening of Ahsoka
Something's coming.
on some planet or another, looking for something. I like this shot because it's very reminiscent of a lot of shots we do get of Ahsoka when she's in her robes. It might even be the same robes, and wind's blowing dramatically in it. And this could very much be just a very well rendered part of like the Clone Wars and Rebel. To be honest with you, that's how you know it's seamless.
Something dark.
Also, this is like just really cool. It's exactly something out of a video game.
I sense it.
This is
And here we see what is, I think, pretty clearly Sabine Wren. I'm thrown a bit because Sabine's mostly got short hair in Rebels, although actually, let me just real quickly. Oh, well, they've already replaced the image in Wikipedia with this screenshot, so this is definitely Sabine. What does she look like when we saw her at the end? They're not including a screenshot of her. I can't tell. I can't remember. I don't know if in the epilogue of Rebels if she had long hair there. But certainly, yeah. Looking at these images now, I do recognize the purple. So this is, what is this actress's name? Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who's an Australian actress. So not the woman who voiced her in the films. Just some details here. She apparently received Wushu training. So what? I just want to double check something. So what else has she been in? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny on Netflix, which I haven't actually seen. So she does have a whole bunch of like action stuff. What else is she in? But so she's of a Chinese and Italian descent, and I think that fits because I mean, here's the thing: Rebels is quite big with of the ethnicity of the characters, and obviously Star Wars the mystique isn't really a thing, but it matters. It matters from a representation point of view of like real world kind of analogies. And I would say definitely for sure that Sabine is quite strongly coded in her depiction as being someone of a East Asian kind of. That seems to definitely be the intention. What was who voiced her in Rebels? I said that's what I recognize. Tia Sikar. Who? What's Tia Sikar's background? So Tia Sikar voices Sabine in Rebels is Bengali. So Desi, so the same, roughly the same ethnicity that I am, which is obviously different from Chinese. So I don't know, because I mean I feel I'm not bothered by it particularly, but I do. I think it's because obviously Sabine's ethnicity she's not canonically Bengali or she's not canonically Chinese, so they're not whitewashing a character who is given a pseudo connection to the real world's kind of ethnic ethnicities. But I also feel like it's the case of when they're casting these characters, like, oh well, it's all Asian, so it doesn't matter. Like, that's not a huge point, but I mean, my dissertation was in ethnic representation, so yeah, I find it interesting, and I think it's interesting to comment on. And it's like, well, how much does it matter? I'm not entirely sure. So let's watch the rest of the trailer. Yeah, here we see a lawful cat, and I think actually, I reckon this is probably still on Lafal. So we're going to get to see Lafal in live action, which is decent because apparently we spent a lot of time with in Rebels. I think it's probably the same place that the mural is at, where Ezra used to live. And actually, kind of fun, when I go to the Star Wars Celebration today, I think they've got a version of the mural there you can take a photo against, and I'm definitely going to do that, so that'll be fun.
To some new beginning.
I mean, looking at her and how she's depicted here, like, I think I definitely will grow to like seeing this as Sabine, and I think actually she looks fairly like accurate here. Certainly, like in her expressions, the way that she's kind of tilting her head. I mean, it's always going to be difficult to kind of connect characters inside together because the animations in the animated style in Star Wars is always stylized. Like in the Rebels and Clone Wars have similar kind of aesthetics, slightly different similar aesthetics, where they exaggerate a lot of the kind of characteristics of what people look like. And so I mean, like Ahsoka, some of the proportions are different, and people comment on this. It doesn't really matter. I do take umbrage with the Grand Inquisitor's depiction simply because his species is made to have long foreheads. But other than that, for sure, here I think there's enough similarities. I think once I have a chance to see her more prominently, it'll grow on me. And just from her frequency in this trailer, I think she's going to have a much more kind of prominent role, probably even like main cast. So, yeah. This is probably just for a bit at the beginning, finding a bunch of these. I think there might be, I'm not sure. Oh, I mean, look at the joints, they seem to be droids.
For some, war.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what the ghost looks like. That's not the ghost. The ghost is a flat. The ghost is like one that looks like a moth. But I certainly do recognize that type of ship. Yeah, I do recognize that ship type. And it's nice to see it in live action. I mean, it might be live action before, but okay. So this isn't the ghost, I don't think. Oh, actually, maybe is this a shuttle, but it's part of the ghost? Because the ghost has a shuttle, right? Why is there a Star Wars Rebels wiki? Why do we need a wiki just for Rebels? Yes, okay, so that, yeah, I knew I recognized it.
For some,
This ship here is the Phantom, probably the Phantom 2. So this is obviously when appeared quite prominently in Rebels, and it's here in live action, and it looks pretty much like it's the same. That's great. That's really making me kind of geek out. I'm happy about that. And here we see Hera, Syndulla, who was one of the leaders in the leaders of the Rebels. So yeah, comparing this to to what Hera looks like in the animated show. If I can just quickly find her screenshot of her. I mean, there was one shot. I don't know if I'm gonna pause on it, where she's like in a pose where her lips slightly pursed, and it's exactly the same kind of pursing of the lips that Hera does in the animated series. Yeah, I mean, this looks like Hera, and also got to remember this is like a whole decade, more or less, after Rebels, so everyone's gonna look a wee bit different anyway. But I mean, I think what will sell it is when I'm watching the show and you see kind of the way that they hold their bodies very similar. And Chop! I don't actually... Okay, people are gonna throw rocks at me here. I'm not actually a massive fan of Chop as a character. I actually find him more annoying than I like him, but I think he's grown on me in absence. I think absence made my heart grow fonder for him. Certainly the whole kind of memeage around him being this massive fascist killing machine is something I enjoy, and yeah, it's good to hear his chirping. And I think doesn't Filoni voice him, so that's kind of neat.
war.
And obviously, so it seems like we're getting a whole kind of Rebels crew back together, so that's decent. Well, we see three of them here, but obviously we've seen Zeb already. So, apart from Ken and Jarrus, everyone from Rebels is going to apparently be live action, so that's pretty decent.
Brothers. Power.
So not quite sure who this is. Let's see if we can find a cast list. So this, I think, is Ivana Sakano, who I don't recognize from her filmography. She's mostly done things for Ukrainian television, but she's playing the apprentice of what I imagine is going to be one of the main antagonists of I'm gonna show against it. So
For others.
this is, I think, Ray Stevenson. Looks like Ray Stevenson. Who do I know Ray Stevenson from? Well, have I seen him in? I must have seen him in something. Oh, he voices Gar Saxon. But obviously he's not playing Gar Saxon here, which is a bit of a shame. What else do I know him from? Sure, he's been 4. Oh yeah, 4. He's both stuck in the 4 films. Anything else? No. TV. So he's probably the main antagonist, and he plays a character called let's get all these windows. Character called Balin Skull. And I mean, there's no details given as to who these people are, but obviously they've got reddish. I think it's meant to be red. It has an orange tint to it, but I think it's meant to be red. Reddish lightsabers. So, but I don't think they're Sith, obviously, because the Sith don't exist at this point in time. They haven't returned yet, so they're probably some other like dark Jedi. So unless they're like remnant Inquisitors, because it's not really clear what happens to the Inquisitors after this the Civil War, but the Galactic Civil War. But yeah, and that's quite a frightening shot actually. The whole POV being struck down by a lightsaber. So this is Lothal. Let me just go back a bit. So here we have Lothal in live action.
Motion detected at the front door.
Okay, like I told you to mute, Alexa, volume 0. See if that sticks instead. It's like I'm telling Alexa to mute, and Alexa mutes, and then when the notification comes through, it just resets back to 10. I don't know why. And I need to remember not to say the name of the device because it responds to it. But there, this looks pretty much like Lothal I remember from the show. Pretty like high fidelity kind of recreation human live action. And that's the same tower that Ezra used to live on. Yeah, this is like, I think this is Lothal as well, but like the city of Lothal.
It's been a while. Things have changed.
So here we have obviously Geneva O'Reilly reprising her role as Mon Mothma, but like on the opposite side of Andor, a much older one. Probably, I think, indeed, actually the latest that we will have seen her as. So actually, this is interesting because this is Mon Mothma post Caroline Blackiston. So this is meant to be an older Mon Mothma than Caroline Blackiston's portrayal. So up until this point, Geneva Riley's been playing a younger version of Mon Mothma, but now she's playing an even older version. So how old was 1983? So in 1983, Caroline Blackiston would have been, she's still alive, would have been 50, pretty much exactly. And Geneva O'Reilly is, what am I doing? Geneva O'Reilly is currently 46. So they're very similar ages, actually. Geneva O'Reilly does, especially in like Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith, does look like a much younger Mon Mothma. But she doesn't look like the same Mon Mothma, the older one. But I mean, what you can do, I don't think you can bring back. You can't bring back Caroline Blackiston because she's now 90 years old. Yeah, I'm just looking at the image now. She looks nothing like. So I guess it's, what else are you gonna do, right? Get her to double the voiceover, I guess. But yeah, she's definitely back. There's a whole bunch of other scientists here.
Started hearing whispers.
here we have our first view of a live action Thrawn, Grand Admiral, but they've not confirmed who is playing Thrawn at this point. And I mean, am I gonna care to speculate who is portraying this role based on a very dimly lit rear shot? No, I don't think it's possible to tell. It doesn't look like Lars Mikkelsen, who voices him in Rebels. I mean, Lars Mikkelsen has the physical, I think, figure and face to play Thrawn. He has that kind of very gaunt face. This, I might eat my words, this doesn't look like him. So it might be someone else playing the role. But I hope I'm wrong, because I think Mars Mikkelsen, Mars Mikkelsen was an actor playing a role who is predominantly a live action actor who doesn't really do that much in terms of, like, I don't think he does much voice stuff. I can't be certain. But I don't think, he's done a whole bunch of voice stuff actually, but it's not his main thing. So, yeah, it is Thrawn. You can tell by the black, the shot back inside his black hair and the blue, and I think once we see those red eyes, it's all going to be a different ball game there.
About Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
Which I think is kind of connects with how Thrawn is. That's a different reference actually to his first ever appearance in the 1991 novel by Timothy Zahn called Heir to the Empire. So I think they are definitely planning on like recanonizing a lot of that. And here we have Morgan Elsbeth, who is the character who appears in the episode that Ahsoka appears in The Mandalorian the first time as the person she captures. So, here it looks like she's in her own ship. So either she escapes, so this is the flashback, but clearly she's not a prisoner of Ahsoka at this point in time. So I see where that leads. And then here is Ahsoka facing off against Baylan Skoll.
We have to prepare for the worst.
So the first kind of speaking line from Mary Elizabeth Winstead's portrayal of Hera Syndulla. I think that sounds pretty much like I always remember Hera Syndulla as being very soft spoken. But also she was someone who like controlled her voice because she spoke an accent that wasn't her native accent because she was trying to kind of hide her indigenous nature during her time as a rebel, and she would always slip into that kind of. But the Twi'leks have like French accents for some reason. So when she's trying to be native, she kind of slips to her native kind of French accent. But when she's not, she puts on a fake one. So I think this kind of is consistent with that. But this is definitely her uniform, and she's not recognizable here. Who voices Hera Syndulla in the show? Vanessa Marshall, who is an American actor. I love that kind of kick out. And here, I think this looks like the Ghost. So I think this is a trick shot. It's a trick cut because this isn't the same ship that's being flown. So that's the Ghost, and this is what's being. So actually, we should be able to see it in the previous shot. And you can't see it. But yeah, there's the Ghost being attacked by Shin Hati.
Jedi fell a long time ago.
Another hallway scene. someone's trying to impress Darth Vader. And here we get a very small glimpse at Iman Esfandi, who is obscure enough not to have Wikipedia art page, but appears to be can't tell what his heritage is, but as Ezra Bridger, who is voiced in the show by Taylor Gray. Who I guess could also play in live action, but they've cast someone else. So yeah, I mean, Ezra is the other character. Is a character who, like, a lot of people commented, probably is like a brown skinned protagonist, and so obviously it's great to cast someone who also has that skin color. And this appears to be the same hologram that we last see Ezra in. Possibly, I've actually, I'm looking at, is he wearing the same clothes or is he not? It's hard to tell. Is there not a screenshot? It seems similar, but like differently colored. But I guess obviously it's a hologram with a blue tint. I guess it's because it's red. It looks red and white here, but obviously he used to wear orange quite predominantly. But it does look quite actually similar to what he was wearing when we last see him. Maybe this is a live action replay of that hologram that he sends to the Ghost crew before he disappears into the unknown. No kind of voice here or anything, but it'd be interesting to see if they keep, because Ezra has well, Wikipedia says blue. It is quite a purpley blue, almost inhumanly purple. But yeah, like this is definitely him here. But it's not a great shot of him.
There aren't many left.
But clearly he's being missed by his old friend. Okay, well, that is that's definitely an Inquisitor, because they've got an Inquisitor lightsaber, which I'm much more antagonistic towards after playing Fallen Order. But hey, I mean, Ahsoka eats Inquisitors for breakfast, so it's good to see that happening here. And all great shots.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
And David Tennant reprises his role as what's his name? As Hyung, who appears in the Clone Wars. So that's nice. It's nice David Tennant's come back for that. Not seen this trailer is Hayden Christensen, who is going to reappear as Anakin Skywalker, presumably the Force Ghost of some description, to speak to Ahsoka. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of dynamic plays out. I don't know. I do feel like the connection between Ahsoka and Darth Vader and Rebels was really beautifully done. So hopefully this kind of adds on to that and doesn't take it away. Who was Samantha Xiona? Oh! That's Kazuda's father. Interesting. So we're getting a person from the Resistance, Star Wars Resistance, appearing in this show, which is great because, like, Star Wars Resistance is a show that a lot of people kind of slept on, for sure. It's actually quite a good show. It's surprisingly better than I thought it would be. So it's nice that we're kind of getting that. So maybe we'll even get some kind of follow-up to Star Wars Resistance, and that would be nice. I mean, this is roughly at the same time, actually, so, yeah. And that's 4 months away. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I really want to see where all these characters have kind of turned up. So yeah, I'm very excited. But we're going to move rapidly on to the next trailer. Which one is it? I'm not sure. Let's react to Peter and Wendy, which is I think the one I'm very late reacting to. It came out like weeks ago. But I wait to watch the trailer. So yeah. See you back here in about a minute's time. Bye.